This week on the Spotlight, we go to Cobblestones and we talk about the Bears in San Diego, another W. Then we go back in time, about 600 shows. We go to the friendly confines, talk to a familiar pitcher. Then we're back in 1993, and we're talking to a familiar pitcher on the South Side, back when they were excelling. And we even go further back to about 1991. Remember this Blackhawk? Had some nice goals this week. Check out my website, benkowski.com, for my weekly article and up-to-the-minute trivia sites. From wherever Chicago's sports teams are making news, this is the 23rd year of the Lansing Floral Sports Spotlight. Flowers for every imaginable occasion at Lansing Floral Shop. Call them at 708-474-1212. They deliver. Cobblestones Restaurant and Bar, 514 West Pershing, that's Pershing and Parnell, the place to go before, during, and after Sox games. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Open Sundays when the White Sox are home, and Friday night trivia when the Sox are on the road. Want to get a haircut from a great hairstylist? Call mine, Rose Murillo, 312-726-2201. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. Be safe with Sureway Insurance Company, 3312 North Milwaukee. Call my friend Jean at 773-282-2022. She has the answers on your auto, home, business, life coverage, including SR22 coverage drivers. Call Sureway Insurance.
Hi, my name is Rose, and I've been a skilled hairstylist for over 10 years. I specialize in men's haircuts and in corrective color. Come visit me at Salon 203 at 203 North LaSalle, 312-726-2201. And while you're at it, come in and get a shoe shine and a shave. It's a great place where a man can be a man. Since 1967, El Jardín has been serving the finest Mexican food. Before, after, or during ball games, located conveniently just 3 blocks south of Wrigley Field, 3335 North Clark. Whether there's a game or not, you still get hungry, and El Jardín has great service, great food, and great drinks. I've enjoyed every meal I've had there, and you will too. So get to El Jardín for great Mexican food at 3335 North Clark Street in Chicago. You'll be glad you did. Welcome to another edition of the Spotlight. We're at Cobblestones at 514 West Pershing. That's 39th Street, Pershing and Parnell. And it's brat time because it's football season. The potato salad is excellent. We are primed for the Bears San Diego. And all right, now that I got your mouth watering, get to Cobblestones for food. Marion Barbers, the short yardage guy, he blasts through on one of these plays and scores to make it 10-3. Earl Bennett, Mr. Reliable, making another great catch. Bears at 17 now.
Hi, I'm Chris. This is Cobblestones Bar and Grill. On Sundays we have the Bears game, great food, great people, tons of parties. If you're in the neighborhood, come out and join us. We'd love to have you here. Go Bears! Here at Cobblestones we do different buffet specials on Sunday for the Bears game. Our daily menus include some great things like our famous muffalettas. We have great steak and chicken sandwiches, different kind of pastas every day, soup specials, entree specials, great desserts, great drinks, great people. Come out and join us.
In the third quarter, Jay Cutler outdoing his arch rival, Phillip Rivers, and the Bears lead 24-17. Johnny Knox gets ripped for running bad routes, but he makes a nice adjustment to this deep ball for a touchdown, 31-17 Bears.
My name is Bob. I'm here at Cobblestones watching the Bear game. And, it's down at the whatever. But the Bears are playing good today. And one of the most fun things you can do is play trivia at Cobblestones. Most fun you'll have with your clothes on. and Pat will try to talk you out of those on some wacky challenge.
All right, thank you. Hand the mic to the lady next to you.
Hi,
Say your name.
my name is Rita, and I just recently arrived from West Virginia. I lived there 30 years, but I was born and raised in Chicago. And I don't know, you want to know something about the Bears? There's nothing bad you could say about the Bears. And Cutler, he is gorgeous. They all are swooning over him. And I think last week he really played and showed his stuff. You have to admit how really cool he was, wasn't he?
I agree, but I hear you're a Packer fan.
Oh yes, I am. But that happened because I had a man from Green Bay come all the time to bring his wife. He'd ride in on the train from Green Bay to buy some hosiery. I sold hosiery at the Fair Store, the old Fair Store at State and Adams. I sold hosiery, and when I wasn't there, he wouldn't buy from any of the other clerks. He had to buy from me, and he said his wife looked just like me. And then he'd come all the way from Green Bay for a hosiery, and then I'm not there. He would go all the way back to Green Bay. And I just thought so much of him well, I'm 80. This happened in the 50s, so you know how long that is. I can't count. So, Patrick, I don't know. I want to tell you one thing, though. I went the other day to see Paul Simon. Now, he's a New Yorker. He lived right near me where I used to live in New York. And I lived on Kew Gardens, and he lived in Kew Garden Hills in one of the garden apartments. And he came to Chicago, and I was awed at what the audience, all those wonderful Chicagoans did. They wouldn't let him leave. He gave such a good show, and he kept it up, and they wouldn't let him leave at all. And I just couldn't get over what is a better audience than a Chicagoan?
Good point.
Right.
Thank you.
So, Patrick, thank you, too. And thank you for being a Chicagoan, too. I'm the old Chicagoan now, and I'm a Sox fan. I used to be Cubs. And my son is giving me heck. And but anyway, I like them both, but I love the new area here that I'm in Chicago. I'm going to watch your show. It's on Channel 25.
Fourth quarter, Rivers, desperate, down 11, throws to the end zone, and the Bears take it away.
All right. Hi, Ryan Lavery here, reporting live from Cobblestones. Just watched the Bears with another W. Was that 5 in a row? I don't know. Great game. I like the seesaw, but it was a little bit too close than it needed to be. But I enjoyed it with good people here at Cobblestones. Great food, great drink prices, great bartending. Come here, Pershing and Parnell.
How about trivia?
How about that trivia? Who's that host again? Is that Pat Benkowski?
What night of the week is that?
That's every Friday, as long as there's not a White Sox home game, then which I don't think you have to worry about for quite some time. Come on, Friday, Saturday, when there's nobody here. Just start the line for Sunday. Bears. Thank you. Tip your bartender, your karaoke DJ.
My name is John Aiken, here at Cobblestone on a Sunday watching the Bears defeat the San Diego Chargers. A very good game that we're very proud that they're now 7-3 and keeping up with Detroit and the playoff hopes. I also play on Team Cobblestone, and I challenge anybody throughout the city or southwest Indiana, if they want to come and challenge Cobblestone on a Friday night here at Cobblestone to trivia, that bring your team, bring the best you have, because we will defeat you. You know, we'll buy you a drink, but you will lose. But food is fantastic. Loretta is the best chef there is in the city of Chicago. And whether it's Italian, Cajun, if you don't enjoy the beers that they have here on tap, you will always enjoy the food that she has, always. Fantastic, flavorful, makes you feel like, and even during the week, home type cooking during the evenings, meatloaf, mashed potatoes, gravy, you can't go wrong here.
Since 1955, Rosangela's Pizza has been there for you at 95th and California, across from Little Company Mary Hospital. You can call them at 708-422-2041. Everything homemade, including the sauce. Great beef and meatball sandwiches, pasta, chicken, seafood, desserts. Dine in for lunch and dinner. Rosangela's, 95th and California. It's always the season for Riley's Trick Shop at 6442 West 111th in Worth. Or you can call them at 708-448-0075. Right now they have football strip cards, a wide selection of Halloween costumes and tricks and treats. And then for later in the year, Santa suits. So for all your needs, especially Halloween, Riley's Trick Shop on 111th Street. Nuevo Leon, for the best Mexican cuisine since 1962. Serving every day from 7 a.m. to midnight, conveniently located 1515 West 18th Street, just a block east of Ashland in Chicago. Of course, they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a wide range of menu items. Everything from steak, seafood, to breakfast, to chicken, pork, dine-in, carry-out, tacos, enchiladas, everything you can imagine, and great quality at Nuevo Leon, 1515 West 18th. You've got to call Vince's Towing. If you need road service, flatbed service, or you want the highest price paid to you for a junk car, call 773-581-7647. They did a great job for me, and they'll do it for you. Call Vince's Towing, 773-581-7647. Kevin Tapani, classy veteran. I talked to him during his frustrating season, and I said, man, the bullpen keeps burning you.
In today's game, it's very rare to get complete games. I mean, when you look at the Randy Johnsons and people like that are, he's throwing as well as he could possibly throw it, and he's still probably only completing half of his games. So, the rest of us, it's not going to happen too often. You're going to need the bullpen, and we have guys that throw the ball pretty well. We just had a couple guys slumping here and there. And recently, I guess it's kind of all fallen together. But all we can really do, you can't really do the hot hand thing or think, well, we can't pitch this guy or that guy. If we have 11-man staff, we need to put each guy in the role that they're here for and let them do their job and work their way out of it. If it doesn't work, then you still got to go back to them the next day if the same situation comes up. But to try and hide a guy or bury a guy, you're just going to wear the other people out, and then you're no better off than you were before.
When you talk about running the hot hand or burying a guy, have you seen that happen in the past in your career, and can you give us an example?
I don't think I could give an example, but yeah, it happens, and obviously if a guy in the pen is throwing the ball really well, you obviously hope it's your closer and for a full year, but realistically, it's not going to happen with anybody. Everybody's going to have a stretch here and there, but the important thing is that for those guys, both mentally to get back out there and to know that the guys still believe in them to get back in. And I've been with some teams. I'd say the Sox team in '96 would probably be the best example of trying to go with the starting pitchers. And we had Roberto Hernandez, who had about a 1 ERA all year, and we were trying to do a thing where we skip by everybody else and just pitch to them. And by the end of the season, you had 5 starters that were done and a closer that was hanging when you really needed them. So it doesn't work. You got to pitch everybody and let them do their jobs. And if they have a couple rough ones, big deal. It's only a couple games out of 162, and they'll come back and do a good job.
Do you sense in a way that when a manager's new to a club, there's a certain feel-out period, that maybe 4, 6, 8 weeks before he understands the staff and what they're capable of doing?
It might work both ways. Maybe where some guys might press a little harder to try and impress him, or they're not really sure what he's looking for. Does he want you to go for the strikeout here, or is he okay if you throw the ball over the plate and it gets hit, or do you never give in to a hitter to the extent that you wind up walking people? And but the guys that we have in our pen here, they're all pretty well experienced. We don't have a lot of young guys except for maybe Kyle Farnsworth, who hasn't done it before. So you look back at the track record, pretty much what you have and what you're going to get as the season plays out.
How about yourself? Are you pitching quite a bit differently than you did, let's say, 6 years ago, 7 years ago? And how much do you rely on experience and savvy as opposed to throwing 96?
Well, I've never really thrown 96, so that, stuff-wise, I probably haven't fallen off a whole lot. A little bit here and there, and probably for Major League Baseball, that anyone that's going to play for 10 years, if if any pitcher said, "Oh, I pitch the same way now as I did on day one,"
They'd be lying.
yeah, they'd be lying or they wouldn't be here. It's constantly changes, adjustments, game to game, season to season, and the guys that stick around are the ones that seem to be able to find a way to get the job done.
Well, we'll be watching for the thinking man's pitcher to kind of be the anchor of the staff, and for the Cubs to do a few things that they haven't gotten accomplished yet, like run off some streaks, particularly at home. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. You've got to get to Lansing Floral Shop. Open at 8 a.m. daily. Besides a great array of live flowers, they have custom silks, Bridgewater candles. They want you to plan your parties early at a wide delivery area. They're located at 3420 Ridge Road in Lansing, or you can call 708-474-1212. Weddings, funerals, birthdays, anniversaries, and guys, try the No Reason flower. Believe me, it works. Lansing Floral Shop. Give them a call, 708-474-1212. Cobblestones is a great bar on Pershing with great food at Parnell. In fact, they're one of the top 100 bars in the city, according to Chicago Magazine. Great pastas, salads, soups, and the great sandwich is the muffaletta. So check it out. Great place to go when the White Sox play. I have trivia on Fridays when the White Sox aren't at home. So get to Cobblestones on 39th, and you'll be very glad you did. Come play in the area's classiest billiard center, Jukebox Billiards, 7910 Calumet Avenue in Munster, 2 blocks south of 8094. Selling the most famous names of pool tables and billiard equipment. Specializing in table recovery and moving of tables. A complete pro shop with the most brand names of cues and cases. Celebrating over 20 years, excellence, top billiard tables, the place where the action is, Jukebox Billiards, 7910 Calumet in Munster. As August has hit, what it's like to be in the thick of a divisional race, and compare it to any past experiences that you've had.
Well, this really can't compare to anything because of just the minor leagues, but it's real exciting just for one to be in the big leagues and now to be in a pennant race. It's still early. A good month and a half left of the season, but it's still early, but we are in first place and we're looking to stay there.
Well, a lot of times a winning attitude is a real key to it, and I've talked to other pitchers and other members of your team about Jack McDowell having the example of a real tough, gritty attitude, and not only do you seem to have those characteristics, but now you've even taken on the facial resemblance to Jack. Is this his recommendation, your idea? How did that come about?
No, actually, I had it in the minor leagues, for off and on for a little while, until they made me shave it off. But, it's not really an attitude, and, it got me together, I think. This didn't get me together the second half, but, I just went back to doing the things that I did do that made me successful, and, it got me to where I am now, where I feel more comfortable.
Well, I think over the years, maybe relief pitchers more than starters, but people like Goose Gossage and Raleigh Fingers and Al the Mad Hungarian Raboski had facial hair as part of a symbol of their ferociousness on the mound, and that's been an interesting element of your games as well. A lot of controversy about throwing inside. That doesn't seem to bother you any, and I'm sure some of the recent developments won't have any effect on what type of plate you're going to go after.
No, you have to pitch inside in this game with the big hitters up there, 3 and 4 hitters. If you don't pitch inside, they'll cheat, and it's not going to be a good outing for you if you can't get in there.
Obviously, our viewers who maybe haven't heard you before are detecting a little bit of an Eastern accent. Tell us a little bit about where you're from and which teams or players you followed growing up.
My hometown is Wilmington, Mass. It's about 15 minutes north of Boston, so I did watch the Red Sox growing up. And, just growing up, I followed Roger Clemens, and, he's a great pitcher to, emulate, I think. And, he's probably basically the only pitcher that I'd really watch.
Now, are you too young to have been a Carlton Fisk fan, and if you aren't, what effect did his departure have? Was it extra specially hurtful to you?
Well, yeah, I am a fan of his. I didn't really get to see a lot of him play when I was younger, but just to get to know him here, and he's a great guy, and he just has a lot of knowledge to pass on to younger players. And he is missed, but we have to get along without him. But we still do feel like he's a part of the team.
Well, you were thrust into this role of being a key starter as the team shoots to be the divisional champion this year, and looks like it has as good a shot, well, truly a better shot than anyone. Alex Fernandez has had a year of great maturing. Have you had many talks with him about what got him over the top to be a consistent starter in the American League?
Yeah, I do talk to Alex a lot, because I think he had gone through the same thing that I'm going through. Called up young and have to, learn what you had to learn to get up here, and then learn everything else at the big league level. And everything that I can get from him is a help, because he's been through the same thing that I'm going through.
If there's one thing that you can point to that you've grasped this year, that you're carrying with you and it is making you better from start to start, what one thing would that be?
I'd have to just say to believe in your stuff. Don't ever doubt your ability up here, and you're up here for a reason, and just don't ever doubt your ability to do what you can do.
In wrapping up, what impresses you about your club's lineup, or maybe the total picture of the team that makes you think you're going to win the American League West?
Just the overall attitude. I think the team has a great attitude about. We feel like we will win every night, and we have a pretty good lineup. It's a dangerous lineup when you look at it. A lot of guys talk about they have to face Toronto, and it's a great lineup, which they are. But I think our lineup is just as deadly when it comes down to it.
Well, that seems to be the theme of the White Sox. The pitchers appreciate the hitters and vice versa, and that's as good a reason as any for the White Sox to get over the top and win their first division in 10 years. We'll be back with more in the Spotlight right after these messages.
I eat antipasta twice just...
Salerno's Restaurant and Pizzeria at Grand and Racine is the place to go before United Center Pavilion, Bulls, Hawks, Cubs, and Sox too. Dine in or carry out with great family recipes, including homemade pastas, steaks, seafood, a great fun bar area. Meet people, have a tremendous time. At Salerno's Restaurant and Pizzeria, Grand and Racine, you'll find a great variety of foods for you to enjoy at Salerno's. Go play at Red Shoes Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski in Alsip, featuring 16 Brunswick Gold Crown pool tables, drop fluorescent lighting fixtures, and the fabulous grade of cloth. Call 708-388-3700. That's Red Shoe Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski. Lanigan's Irish Pub is the place to be at 3119 West 111th Street, right by Kedzie. Live music on Sunday with Fast Eddie. Drink specials daily, including $1.50 domestic bottles on Thursday, $3 Guinness on Tuesday. Call for karaoke information on Friday. Party room, too. All that available at Lanigan's Irish Pub, 3119 West 111th Street on the beautiful south side of Chicago. Get there, Lanigan's Irish Pub. Get to the Beverly Coffee Shop at 2734 West 111th Street. Open at 6 a.m. daily with, of course, fresh coffee, many teas, breakfast, lunch, bagels, muffins, and more. Sandwiches, soups, and pizza bagels. They even have juice and Red Bull. Call ahead for your order, 773-429-9650. That's the Beverly Coffee Shop. We're in Lake Forest, and there'll be action from Mike Ditka in rare form, as he so often is as we catch him during this free and breezy 1991 season. We'll also have some information from the Blackhawks, plenty of that, and an interview with a prominent Bull who will be seeing more and more playing time as the regular season approaches. But first, let's take you back to last Thursday, as the Edmonton Oilers, four-time Stanley Cup champions in recent history, have fallen on comparative hard times. They battled the Blackhawks. It was very unusual to see Dave Manson in an Edmonton Oilers uniform, especially firing the big shot against the Blackhawks. Early on, Brian Noonan had the best opportunity to score, but Peter Eng stopped them cold on the break. Edmonton broke out in front, 1-0 on this goal by Craig Simpson, and it was looking like it might be a rough night at the stadium. But Dirk Graham came back strong. Top defensive forward in the league, steals and scores. It's 1-1, and the Blackhawks are back on the road. Fine defensive play by Greg Gilbert here, who helps out his goaltender, essentially making the save. That was late in the second, and it wasn't until the third period that the Blackhawks broke in front with Adam Creighton, who's been a force in the middle, scoring its 2-1 Hawks.
And Jeremy Roenick, who looks like he'll be atop the league standings and scoring all season long, makes it 3-1 Chicago wins. Later in the third, Edmonton got back close. Craig Muni scores it to make it 3-2. But the Blackhawks would hang on, get the insurance goal later from Roenick, and the penalty box officials watching that small TV, wondering what the Bears and Packers were doing. We talked to Dave Manson after the game about being traded with his wife almost giving birth.
Well, when they told me about the trade, I just, I wasn't upset about the trade at all because I realized that's part of the business, but I was really upset with the timing of it because I thought maybe they could have held off. Now, I don't know that part of it, but I think that they could have done that because they knew my situation, and my wife had strict bed rest, and it's tough for me because it's not like I went to St. Louis or Detroit where I could get home in half an hour. It's across the country, and but that's the way it goes, and I guess life will go on because now I've got a beautiful baby boy and a beautiful wife, and we're going to get on with our lives.
Going out to Western Canada is in effect sort of a homecoming. You're starting to probably get a little perspective on that now.
Yeah, I haven't found a place yet, but, we're getting settled. My wife will come out there at the end of this road trip, and, it won't take us very long to find a place. And once we get out there, then, that's our home, and, we're going to start calling it that.
Obviously, you talked about your young team. In retrospect, the Blackhawks have, made some maneuvers to try to maybe win it all this year, it would seem. Your thoughts on that and their club's attitude from what you've talked to the guys who are no longer your teammates?
Well, they have a good team. They got a lot of talent over there. They got 4 strong lines and a good defense. I just hope Steve Smith and Chris Chelios don't tire out because they play so much, but I know they can carry the load, and they're going to have a good team. They're going to make a good run of it. I just hope things go well for them, and hopefully we'll see them in the playoffs.
With Doug gone and some new faces here, I'd like to get your perspective as the senior man here about how people are looking to be blending with your club.
Well, there are a few changes. On defense, there's a couple, and up front, but overall there's not that much. You got Steve Smith, and he's playing with Chelly, and they're probably the best tandem in the league. I think defensively, no question, they're the best 1-2 punch in the league. Brian Marchman's come in, he's played well. He's working hard, he's improving every game, and Ryan McGill's played very well. So defensively, and you can't say enough about Jimmy Waite. He's done a great job so far. It's a tough situation to come in here, and the fans love Eddie, and he came in here and he's matured and he's handled it really well. And guys up front, Brian Noonan's played well. A lot of guys. Adam Creighton's played very well out of the gate. You know the Roenick line's going to be there, and also Mike Hudson's played exceptionally well. So it's good to see spreading it.
You really have a classic blend of veterans and young players, don't you?
Yeah, we got lots of young guys, but there's also quite a few old guys here, and I think you need a blend. You can't have all young guys. I think Edmonton's a very young team, and it may take them a little longer to get going when you're that young, but I think you got to have a blend.
I hate to ask you a tough question so early in the season, but do you have a gut feeling on how the Belfour situation is going to go?
Gee, Pat, that's not even my end. You just hope everything works out for Eddie. He's a great hockey player. He's a great friend of mine as well.
And he is in the Hall of Fame now. Eddie Belfour is. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
This week's show has been brought to you by the Lansing Floral Shop. Call for your flowers at 708-474-1212. Huck Finn, a great wide-ranging menu, along with donuts and ice cream. Open 24 hours at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero.
In print graphics, leaders in booklet, perfect bound, saddle stitch. Very competitive pricing. Call 708-396-1010.